Here we have the Pigtronix Philosopher King. Now, while this pedal can function as a sort of envelope generator, we're just going to talk about the compression effect specifically. I'm playing with a Danelectro, and it's routed just into this compression pedal and then going into a Fender Frontman 25R. So that way we can just hear the sound of the compressor pedal. Right now nothing is engaged. This is my clean tone. So let's put it on. So right away, something that we can talk about is noise. This knob here is a volume knob that controls the master output volume of the entire pedal. So right now I have it at the center at 12 o'clock. So I'm getting about the same volume coming out of the pedal as I had going in. But if I turn that up, then you can start to hear that there's actually some noise coming from the amp. That is a result of boosting the gain with this knob so high. So let's turn that back down so we can minimize our electrical noise. So we have this compression knob here. This is basically like a wet-dry. If it's left, then you get just dry signal. If you turn it all the way clockwise, then you get the full wet signal. But a good place to keep the knob is probably around the middle, because if I have it all the way here, the sound easily becomes overcompressed, in which case you have such a reduced waveform size that it actually sounds a little bit muffled or almost even distorted. So we're not going to do that. We're going to keep that right around the middle here. And then our threshold for the compressor is determined by this sustain knob here. So here's another instance where we could get noise. If I turn this all the way up, since this knob is this threshold knob as well as a sustain generator, by turning this all the way clockwise, you can already start to hear that some noise is coming through the amp. And actually, if I combine that with this volume knob, I'm going to start getting feedback pretty quickly. Okay, and part of that is because I'm actually sitting really close to the amp right now, but it just increases the possibility for noise, and we don't really want that in our final signal. So we're going to keep the threshold kind of around the middle as well. Now, this is hard to determine on a number scale because we don't have any kind of numbers around these knobs, so we kind of just have to estimate the ratio. At least we can understand that if the knob is pointed at a sort of 12 o'clock position, then it's going to be kind of in the middle of two extremes, and that's generally a good place to keep things, and then you can sort of fiddle with it from there. So what we have right now. So it's starting to sound better, but I kind of want a boost in the high end, and that's exactly what this knob here can do. It gives me a boost, or right now, since it's in counterclockwise position, it gives me a cut of a frequency around 2 kilohertz. So let's turn that up and get a little bit more treble in there. Okay, we can even turn that up and make it a little sharper. Okay, and then if we want to add some distortion, we can easily mix some of that into our signal with this pedal as well by using this grit knob. And this knob only introduces distortion into the signal when you have the wet-dry compression knob, at least providing some wet. So let's try that, and I'm going to just play it as I turn this up so you can see what this does. So you notice that the sound immediately got louder as soon as I turned this up. That's because, if we remember from class, distortion is a boost in volume that ends up affecting the timbre of the sound. So as we're getting louder, the actual timbre of the guitar is changing. Anyway, thank you. Hope you guys learned something.